states that there is a dependent, there's somebody that can be protected. Did you ever try to preach to your parents? Have you ever tried to do that? It's been a while, right? Did it work very well? No. So then don't do it. One time, Giriraj Swami's mother, she came up, he was a sannyasi already, she came up to him and she gave him a hug and put a kiss on his cheek, and he just stood there. And his comment was, "Some things will never change." If you go to your parents' house and you just want to talk, no. Older people, they want to be heard. They want to be heard. One time after Govardhan Parikrama, Navina Prabhu, my older brother, and me, we went to see Buddhimanta, who was at the back of Krishna Balaram guest house on the lunch pad room. And he was terminally ill with leukemia. He was fading in and out of consciousness. Yet, when he saw us coming into the room, and we were introduced as then successful book distributors, he became so enlivened, he became so happy. He could have given us a lot of medical history of what was going on with him, but he did not. He was beaming, he was gleaming, like Bhishma Dev, being ecstatic seeing the Pandavas. My desire has come true. Somebody is fulfilling the legacy. Somebody is doing what I started, what I wanted to see accomplished. He was so proud. He was so ecstatic. He told us that one time in Los Angeles, he came into Prabhupada's darshan room and he didn't wear a shirt because it was hot. It was in the summer. He paid his obeisances and Prabhupada stopped the conversation and he gave him his own shirt. There's two versions that he took it off for, that he had his servant brought his shirt. And then he started laughing and he said, "I was just distributing a few books and trying to help a few others distribute books. But Prabhupada was so happy, he gave me his own shirt. You're distributing thousands of books. What will Prabhupada give you?" And he started beaming. He was so blissful. And it was very demonstrative. And we felt blessed because here is one of our revered seniors who is encouraging us, who is just happy that we're taking on what he tried to give to others. So Srila Prabhupada, like Krishna is protecting the bhakti. He's protecting his devotees' devotion. And whatever gets in the way, whether it be Aishwarya or it be lamentation, or it be consternation or resignation, Krishna will eliminate that. He will push that aside so that the devotee's bhakti, the devotee's true love can actually shine forth. So this is just the beginning of the story, how Krishna will retrieve the dead sons of Devaki. Because she was in lamentation, and that lamentation was an obstacle to her unconditional expression of her motherly love for Krishna, because she was very preoccupied about her dead sons. So when we're dealing with seniors, appreciation, service attitude, and a mood of inquiry are always very beneficial. They always work very well. So, and then they will open their hearts, and that rose apple juice will just gush out and will just spread far and wide. And just by being touched by one of those drops can change our life, can change our trajectory. So, of course, the spiritual master and Krishna, they want to see their children and grandchildren happy. They want to see them thriving. And when they see that they're not thriving, that they're fighting with each other, or that they're confused or morose, it's quite discouraging for the parents or for the grandparents. So Srila Prabhupada, he gave his life to give us his teachings. He stayed up every night for a few hours to translate 6 pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. Yet unfortunately, the vast majority nowadays feels that they're too busy to read Prabhupada's words. So we're not truly appreciating and relishing what Prabhupada has given us. We're going around and we're seeing that people don't know who is Vasudev Datta. They don't know who is Ramananda Roy. They don't know who is Kala Krishna Das and how he got the second chance to Lord Nityananda and Jagadananda and Mukunda and Swarup Damodar. They don't know. It's all news to them. So, if we want Srila Prabhupada's empowerment, we want his blessings, we should study his instructions every day and then make plans how we can cooperate together, how to expand this movement. The world is burning up in fractionism and polarity and extremism. There's a lot of tension. Yet the antidote is the Srimad Bhagavatam. Yatredyante katam rishtas trishnayo prashamo yatra nirvairam yatra bhuteshu nodvego yatra kaschana. Whenever and wherever the Bhagavatam is being discussed, at least at that moment, there is no material affliction, no envy, no lust, anger, and greed. That's pretty good. That's why Prabhupada wanted us, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, all the time, or at least once a day. Or at least once a day. Even if you just go to Bhagavatam class, you'll hear one or a couple of verses. Today you got 3 for 1. That's pretty good, right? That's a good deal. And in this way, you can finish the Bhagavatam in short time. Yet somehow we are distracted because we are not really focused on what is the mission. Have you noticed that when you have a mission, you have a different drive, you have a different tenure, you have a different type of behavior when you're on a mission? Have you noticed? 3 people have noticed. And you align your life how to accomplish that mission. Srila Prabhupada had a big mission. And he went to New York and he wandered the streets alone. Just a couple of books, distributing those books. That's how he survived. He went to bed hungry because he didn't have money for food. Just trying, leaving no stone unturned. Putting books on consignment in different stores. One lady, she's a bookseller in one bookstore, she said, "Are you from India?" He said, "Yes." She said, "I love India." He said, "What do you like about India?" She said, "I like Indian food." "Oh, what do you like?" She said, "Samosa." So next time, Prabhupada, he made samosas for her. Why? Because she's a Sankirtan devotee. She's part of his team. This is Samyak Kirtan, expanding the glories of Krishna. It needs a team. It's not a one person's job. And Prabhupada kept trying till some young people showed some interest. And he was cooking for them and serving them and cleaning and writing and publishing and doing everything till one person asked, one boy asked, "Swamiji, can I help you?" And he said, "Yes." I thought nobody would ever ask. Maybe they're rich kids. Maybe they had moms or maids who did everything for them. But Srila Prabhupada was willing to do everything. Like a benevolent father, benevolent mother. So, one time my mother, she gave me a big donation before I went to India. When I came back, like 10 lakhs, when I came back, she gave me the same amount again. And I said, "Mom, you don't have to do that. You don't have all the money in the world. Why did you do that?" And she said, "I felt so good the first time I gave it. I wanted to feel the same again." We meet people who every time they encounter us, they take books. Have you had experience? You go to the same places to distribute, you meet the same people over and over, and every time they want to give you. Just because it makes them feel so good. I started young as 15-year-old. I went door to door in Switzerland. Grandmas would bring me chocolate. And I would say, "I'm a monk. I don't eat chocolate. And they went, and they were frightened. And I realized, don't be an idiot. If a grandma wants to give you a gift, smile, say thank you, and accept it. Okay? You got it? You don't have to eat it, you know? There will be other people who will be happy to receive it. So, that openness, it requires a little bit of maturity. And that takes time. That takes time. I'm still trying to grow up. So, before that, to actually extricate myself from the house, I had to take on drastic measures because my mom wanted me to finish 9th grade. But there was something called the Prabhupada Marathon in December. You heard of the Prabhupada Marathon? Coming up soon on this channel. Just stay tuned. So I thought staying till spring is not an option. I have to leave the house. But how to do it? I'm 15. I'm a dependent. I need my mom to sign, you know. No more trouble for temple presidents. So what I did was, I told my mom, I'm not going to eat your food. I'm not going to attend any family functions. I rejected everything she tried to do or give me. And within very short time, one fine day, about a week or two later, she said, okay, you can leave. But you have to leave right now. And I said, all right, I'm going. But you have to sign here. And she said, but then you're going to be gone. I said, don't worry, Mom, I'll come back. It'll be fine. Okay, all right, you still love me. Okay, so she signed. And I called the temple, they picked me up. I had my suitcase, my briefcase, my jacket for the marathon, and my bicycle. And I joined on a Thursday, and on Sunday I went traveling. And for 15 years, I didn't come back. The first weekend I came back to the temple, one wheel of the bicycle was missing. The second weekend, the second wheel of the bicycle was missing. After months, they had thrown the bicycle out. You know that vairagya? Have you experienced that vairagya when you're amongst devotees? How your stuff just takes off on you? So sometimes we have to break our mom's or our parents' heart in order to make them proud. And now we have a very good relationship, and she's really appreciative. I tried to give my younger brother Japamala. My mom took them away. She said, I'll give one son to God, not two. Good Catholic mom, we're 4, you know. So she said, 1, that's enough. I said, sorry, bro, you have to fight it out with Mom. I'm going, okay? Good luck. So sometimes, like Krishna, he took drastic measures. He started talking Brahmagyan. He started doing things, you could say, in a little peculiar way. Why? Because he wanted to achieve a certain objective. In a similar way, if you want to be impactful in preaching, sometimes you have to take a slightly different strategy, a slight detour. If you see, for instance, you meet a person who's very proud. You ever met people who are very proud? No, right? You're here in India, everybody's super humble and chill. Sometimes you have people on big bikes, right? Or in big cars. So what do you tell them? Oh, be humble, you know, the material world is useless and it's all for naught. No. You can either say, oh, nice car, or you can say, what happened to the big truck, you know? Like, why only the small car? So, it depends on who you are and what your mood is, what your mentality is. One man, he approached Srila Prabhupada, he said, why are you selling Bhagavad Gita? Krishna spoke it for free. Why are you making money with this? You ever heard this argument? Why are you selling all these books and all these things? It should be given free, right? So Prabhupada, he just snapped back. Where did Krishna speak Bhagavad Gita? The man said, Kurukshetra. He was a smart guy. Prabhupada said, yes. So, Kurukshetra, Delhi, 50 rupee transport charge. The man said, fine, okay, I'll pay for transport, but I don't pay for the book, all right? So he gave the 50 rupee and he got the book. By hook or by crook, it doesn't mean you become a crook, you become a cheater. Hook or crook meant the people working in the docks, unloading boats, ships, they had a hook and they had a crook. They were tools to get the job done. But we cannot get stuck on the hooks and crooks. Sometimes you have to do things that are a little unorthodox, like Krishna speaking Brahmagyan to his father Vasudeva. But if you have the proper attitude to protect the bhakti, to nourish the bhakti, to enhance the bhakti, Krishna will give you dadami bhuri yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. Krishna will give you the intelligence to find the right words to touch people's hearts. I was in Barbies in Guyana, and we're doing Harinam Sankirtan and distributing books, and the people are very favorable, very open, very friendly. So basically you can just go up to people and say, please give a donation, and they will. But the man already had the book, he had the prasadam, and then I stopped and paused and say, how are you doing? And he was a little surprised, because he thought the transaction is over, you know, like it's all done. Why is he asking me, how are you doing, right? It's kind of a little odd that you start, you know, with the end and then you work back to the introduction. So he looked at me like, why are you asking me this? And I was like, because I care. Because bhakti means you actually care. Because Prabhupada cares. Because Krishna cares. I want to know, how are you? And he looked at me and said, you really want to know? Honestly speaking, not your family, not your friends, not your company, not your government. No one can help you. Only Krishna can help you. I said, thank you. Thank you very much. I've been distributing the book that I'm not supposed to talk about in class for the last few days down at the Goshala. And I was just mesmerized by the caliber of devotees that are here, that I'm fortunate to meet and to serve and to hear from. It's just amazing. It's just spectacular. So we're truly blessed by Srila Prabhupada, by all of our spiritual masters, and by showing our gratitude to them, by accepting wholeheartedly what they have given us, applying it in our lives, and trying to share it with others in a non-sectarian, non-judgmental, in a service mood. This will attract unlimited blessings from our Guru Varga. Yasyadave parabhakti yathadave tatagurau tasyaite katitahi arta prakashante mahatmanaha. One time I took a group of brahmacharis to Pushkar, and we left from Vrindavan in a little taxi, about 7 of us, and we stopped in Jaipur for Radha Govinda Darshan, and one kind Bengali pujari, he gave us Mahaprasad for the whole group. And we arrived around 4 or 5 o'clock in Pushkar. And it was the camel fair. Have anyone been at the camel fair in Pushkar? Big party. Lakhs and lakhs of people. Big mela. None of the contacts that I had worked out. So I went from hotel to guest house and asking for rooms. And they all just laughed at me. Like, we're booked out since last year, you know, like. And they showed me a little closet, you know, where to keep the brooms. And they said, you can have this for 1,000 rupees, you know. I said, yeah, I can put 4 guys standing in there, but it's not going to work. So after a while, the taxi driver and the devotees got really anxious. You know when devotees get anxious? Because they're hangry, you know. They're getting hungry and tired and angry. So I just got desperate. I just walked around and I just said, Krishna, I can't do this, like, you know. So I walked around a lane, there was a boundary wall, then there was an opening, a door. I went in there was an elderly gentleman with a turban, and he sat in a chair, he had his legs up on a cot, and a big mustache. And I just went up to him and I went, Prabhu, I need help. Like, you know, invoking his Vatsalya Ras. I was desperate. And he said, after he heard my little sorry story, he said, welcome to Rukmini Krishna's temple. You can stay here. I'll give you rooms, but there's one condition. You're only allowed to eat Mahaprasad. No outside food. I said, Prabhu, whatever you say is fine. For 1 week, we're doing 6 to 8 hours of Nagar Sankirtan in Pushkar. And there's scores of people around. If we have the right attitude, people will open up their hearts. And there is no limits. We should not be fundraising. We should be friend raising. If you get someone's heart, you also get your wallet. Don't worry about their wallet. But if you only have the wallet, what have you gained? Not much, right? Not much. So, Bhadra Purnima just took place. 40,000 Srimad Bhagavatam sets got distributed globally. That makes Prabhupada happy. Prabhupada wanted the Bhagavatam to get out to the world. 40,000 sets of Bhagavatam. Now we're shooting for 108,000 in 2026 or 2027, building up towards that. But it's a good start. You may ask yourself, how can I do that? How can I convince someone to take a Bhagavatam set? Well, small suggestion. If you're ever to give Bhagavatam class, especially on a Sunday or Sunday feast class, have a little table and put the Bhagavatam set on it, and you speak a few of your favorite shlokas from the Bhagavatam. And at the end, you just ask people, who would like to have a set? And believe it or not, 2 or 3 people will raise their hand. And then you ask, who already has a set but would like to sponsor a set for someone else? And a few more people will raise their hand. And then you can say, I'm personally also going to sponsor 1 or 2 sets, because people give you donations sometimes. Have you noticed? Have you noticed? Have people giving you money? They have? Yeah? Yes. So, just give it out in books. And I guarantee you, in no time, sets will just be flying. They'll just be flying. In Philadelphia, 21 sets went out. In Georgetown, Guyana, 28 sets went out. I was in Ukraine, 15 sets went out. Lithuania, 16 sets, just like that after one talk. And I'm a little guy. So, if we put Prabhupada in the center by studying his teachings, by sharing his teachings, and by appreciating everybody, depending on what relationship is adequate, by hearing them out, by inquiring from them, we can attract their blessings. And every devotee's got nectar in their heart. Have you noticed that every devotee's got nectar in their heart? And they're ready to share some of that nectar if we're willing to appreciate it, if we're willing to actually take it from them. So I feel like Uddhava going to Vrindavan and seeing all the intense prema that manifests in Vipralamba, Bhav, and in other types of relationship with Krishna. Every time I come here, I realize I need to step up my game. I need to get serious about Krishna consciousness. So thank you for your wonderful examples, for your tolerance and patience with us, and for your kind example of selfless service, of service in separation. Samyak Kirtan, the complete glorification of Krishna's glory, the team effort that we really need to keep in mind in order to attract the empowerment, the mercy, and the affection of our seniors. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. We have time for a few questions or comments or reflections. Yes, we got Panchagoda here. We got a friend right back there. So,
being on Sankirtan sometimes is mentally intimidating, And just to get the proper frame of mind, what would you suggest is the best way? I mean, is it like the strong morning program or reading before you go out to beat the mind? Because the philosophy, if it in the association of devotees, gives you more strength, but
yes.
what do you do and actually to keep your strength and your determination without feeling you're just taking money from people or disturbing people?
It's all written down in that book that I'm not supposed to talk about.
Which book was that?
I'm not going to talk about it. And I'm not going to give it to you, but it's going to be available.
The chocolate off in the president's office, okay?
Yeah, it's going to be available right in front of the Samadhi after the class, but I'm not supposed to talk about it in class because we're following the rules here. Okay. We're trying to be good boys. So yes, all of that, strong morning program and studying Prabhupada's books, chanting your rounds before you switch on your phone. Have you tried that? Anybody? You know airplane mode, that little airplane? Yeah? Try it. It does make a difference. And then just putting in a sincere effort, and people will respond. They will be appreciative. I was in Mayapur in front of the Goshala, and an elderly couple, Bengali couple, walked up. The man was they were around 80. The oldest suit that I've seen in my life. And she was in a sari. And the man saw me, his eyes just beamed up. And I just gave him a big hug. And he broke out and he said, Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi. And I said, Radhe Vrindavaneshwari. And he said, Brishabhanu Sute Devi, Pranamami Haripriya. And we embraced again. He said he's a vocalist. He's teaching singing. He said he had countless devotees who studied from him how to do kirtan, how to do bhajan. He was so happy to see a white guy doing Krishna consciousness. He was amazed. But sometimes people look at us and they go like, yeah, no, maybe not, no, not inspired. Huh? So before we go out, we should look into the mirror and ask ourselves, would you like to meet this person? Chant Hare Krishna and be depressed, right? Chant Hare Krishna and be morose. No, what was it again? I'm getting my shlokas mixed up here. Chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Now, are you happy or are you happy? I meet all these young students, who are roaming all over. Have you seen them? They're always moving in groups, right? In packs. And I ask them, are you smart or do you have a smartphone? And they usually say, I have a smartphone. I say, you are qualified. And I give them the book. But you can't smile, you have to stay serious, otherwise it doesn't work. So, Krishna Shakti Vinana Hetara Pravartana. I can't do this. I can't even open my mouth. I have a dear friend, he said, he's a brahmachari for more than 10 years. And after doing Sankirtan for over a decade, dedicating his life to Bhakti Sibhushan, he said, when I got married in my first year, I made $500,000, 4 crores. Krishna gave me everything. But he said, I was attached to one thing, not to the money, not to the fame, not to the success. I was attached to my voice. Have you ever lost your voice? You have? We all have. It's scary, isn't it? You think like, is this it? Just nothing coming out. Are you feeling it, how the vocal power is reducing after some time? So he said, Krishna gave me a strange disease of the vocal cords. I was attached to my singing, to my kirtan. And Krishna saw that there is pride, and he took it away. And I'm grateful for it. I said, wow, what a realization. What a realization. Yasyaham anugrinami harishyataddanam shanai. Whatever is between you and Krishna, Krishna will start messing with it. He will start playing with it. Have you noticed? Not anything. Janmaishvarya, Shruta, Shribi. No. What your problem is, what you are attached to. Like mine is patience. You heard of Utsaha, Nishayat, but then comes Dharyat. Patience. So Sankirtan helps us to notice our weaknesses, our weak spot. To know one's weakness is your strength, because then you can get help. But if you think everything's fine, it's going to hurt, and it's going to take a long time. But when I notice that, yes, I have a problem here, I need to take guidance, I need to take help from people who don't have the same problem, then so much help, so much mercy is available. So Krishna is very responsive. Krishna swadhamapagate dharma jnana dibisaha kalaunashtam drishamesha purunarko dunodita. You ever had a problem in life? No, you don't have problems here, right? Because it's only kirtan and prasadam and rolling in the ecstasy of prema. But whenever some problem could arise, you notice you open the Bhagavatam and you read a verse or two, and Prabhupada solves your problem for you. Has this ever happened to you? Or is it just me? So the process works. And Krishna is so personal. How he responds with Devaki, how he responds and relates with Vasudev, how he responds with the sages. Perfect interaction. So Krishna is the doer, and this is a message for all former, present, and future incarnations of Bhakti Sibhushan, or of whatever devotional service. Krishna is the doer. He's the ability. He's the one who makes things happen. But if we have the right service attitude, we're allowed to witness the miracle. We're allowed to be there when it happens. And that's what keeps me going after 4 decades. That's why I'm still out there. Because I want to meet Krishna. I want to see how he does the magic. How he starts moving things around and turning people upside down. That they just... Sometimes people say no. And you say, thank you very much, have a wonderful day. They walk away. After 10 minutes, they come back, say, all right, I take it. Have you had the experience? Who is it? Krishna in the heart. He said, hey, Chief Jago, don't be an idiot. Go back. She's a nice girl. Give her something. Take it. So, that's magic. That's Krishna's magic. That's Prabhupada's magic. Are we here because we want to see that magic? Everything else you can buy online. But this, no. For this, you have to actually go to the front lines and take some of that heat. When the drones are flying and, stuff is blowing up and things are going sideways, and you have those Vidura moments when you put the bow on the door and go for a 20-year japa walk, You know those Vidura moments? Huh? Why is Krishna doing this to me? Because he loves you. That's why he's doing it to us. So we're very fortunate. We're very blessed. Sometimes devotees, they say, no, I'm not a book distributor. I'm not a Sankirtan devotee. I don't need to read this book. I say, are you chanting Hare Krishna? They say, yeah, sometimes. I say, then you are a Sankirtan devotee. Huh? Do you want to do Kirtaniya Sadahari? Do you want to expand Krishna's glories? These are the principles. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So earlier, when you were mentioning of taking the risk that go out and do Sankirtan by hook or by crook, so I remembered one story which many devotees might probably know, but I'll say it anyway, that this same risk was even practiced by Vibhishan when he was in his kingdom. He was so attached to the name of Ram that he couldn't have helped but to write the name of Ram around on his floor, his building. So it so happened that Ravana came by and he saw the name of Rama all over, and he got furious. He said, I'm going to kill you. Why are you writing the name of my enemy? So Vibhishan said, no, my Lord, you don't understand that these are acronyms. Ra-ma. Ra means Ravana, and Ma is your potency, Mandodari. So he said, oh, you so much respect me? Is this me and my pleasure potency that you're writing here? He said, look, I love you so much. Take this name and spread it all over Lanka. So like that, Vibhishan was able to spread Ram's name so much around by using this trickery. So many times devotees do the same.
Thank you.
I'm pretty sure so many devotees have done that.
Jai Sri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram. Hare Krishna.
It's like thank you. I just visited Turkey. Devotees can't go out on the street and do, the public Sankirtan as we used to. But they go to book fairs and different cultural events, and they present the books, they present prasadam, they present the essence of the teachings, and people are very attracted. They're very, very appreciative. But we have to use our intelligence, and that is Krishna's intelligence. Tadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. But if I'm not in the right state of consciousness, then nothing comes out, or the wrong words come out, and people are not impressed. So we have to have that prayerful mood of humility. Last question, and then I need a kinchana. Somebody else? Yes, right here.
Hi Krishna, thank you very much for such a powerful, like always, katha. It's a short question, but yes, you can explain it for next 1 hour as well. How do you define a Sankirtan devotee? Like you take the example of the Prabhupada instance when the lady was asking, she just said about Indian food, and Prabhupada gave one samosa. And in your book, and in your conversation, it often comes about Sankirtan devotees.
Yes.
For many of us, maybe Sankirtan devotee is someone who is sitting and doing kirtan. But for you, it's someone else.
Yes.
Maybe you would like to reflect
Thank
on
you. A Sankirtan devotee is somebody who treats everyone who walks through the door as a future leader of the Hare Krishna movement. That's a Sankirtan devotee. You see the potential in every individual. Prabhupada saw the deficiency. He saw there was a lot of work. But he had faith in the process, and he was happy to start small. And he delegated authority, but he retained responsibility, not the other way around. That's the real way of management. And that's why people grew to grandeur in very short time, because his empowerment, his appreciation was unlimited. Prabhupada was also detached. He was detached. He knew that some of them will just walk away and never come back. And it's painful. It's painful for a parent. It's painful for a spiritual master. It's painful for Krishna. But that's a risk you have to take. That love also means the freedom of not to be loved. And that you learn on Sankirtan, how to deal with rejection. You ever try to distribute to devotees? Try it out. Try it out. It's a sobering experience. They have all the good answers, and they have all the excuses. So, no excuses. Yes, we can contextualize and have so many different ideas, but at the end of the day, do we want to be part of the solution, or we be part of the problem? It's pretty simple. And we need everybody. This is a cultural revolution. We need the arts. We need the humanities. We need law. We need finance. We need even engineering and technology. We need everybody. If you don't have farmers, you don't have artists, you got no legs to walk on. So, if there is appreciation, if there is service attitude, there is a wholesome interdependence, there's a healthy relationship. But if everyone's trying to pull the blanket towards their own side and is very narrow, only sees, no, we need to do this. This is our main focus. This is our main, and we don't understand these 7 purposes of ISKCON and how it all fits in, that we have to give people the opportunity to find their own mission in the vision of Prabhupada. And we have to be happy that they're happy in Krishna consciousness, even if they're doing a different service than I'm doing. If we have that attitude, then there's room for the whole world. There's a house that the whole world can live in. But when people come and they see that not even the seniors are getting along, I don't want to end up like that. I want to have a positive future. I want to have an enlivening future. So that's why it's not enough to just go out there and beat people over the head with books. Take this, it will make you happy. Well, what about you? Are you happy? Is this making you happy? Sometimes people ask you, right? Have you noticed? Sometimes people ask you, are you happy? You can't fake it. You can't just say, yeah, I'm very happy. This is fantastic. I mean, there's about 1 million things that are wrong right now, but I'm still super happy. No, am I actually happy? Where is Akinchana? He's right here. He's got a few words for you. So I'd like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all of you for your dedication, your sincerity, and your service attitude. And please pray for me. The journey is long, and only with the stick of the mercy of the Vaishnavas can we somehow traverse this difficult world. Grantarat Srimad Bhagavatam ke, Srila Prabhupada ke, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ke, Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Krishna